Imagine stepping into a world where loyalty shifts without warning. Truths twist into secrets, and every choice pulls the family deeper into a storm they never saw coming. Because what started as a quiet rumor exploded into a chain of events no one could control. And now every hidden motive, every whispered conversation, and every betrayal is finally being dragged to the surface in a story so intense, you will not believe how far it really goes. Cody Brown, standing in the middle of a carefully staged set created by TLC, is being pushed into a spotlight he never truly controlled. And as the cameras begin to roll, the network leans harder than ever on a storyline that feels engineered from the ground up, boosting suspense, drama, and curiosity to keep viewers hooked. And the so-called apology tour becomes the central theme that stretches across weeks of programming designed to pull back lost viewers who drifted away after the family fractured. Because without connection, conflict, or emotion, there is no show to sell. And now TLC knows it, so they are packaging Cody as a man seeking redemption. But behind the scenes, the tension grows thicker by the minute. As whispers circulate about what really pushed the network into producing this storyline. After months of dwindling ratings and decreasing interest, the once unstoppable Sister Wives machine has slowed to a crawl, and viewers have been openly questioning whether the show still has anything left to offer. So the network creates a narrative that forces Cody into interactions he never willingly pursued, framing it as healing, when in reality, it is a desperate grasp for audience engagement. And the drama truly begins when rumors start spreading that Robin Brown required a set of unspoken rules before Cody could meet with any of his former wives. And these whispered requirements spark speculation across online communities because, according to what McKelty shared privately, her father is expected to check in with Robin every time he schedules a conversation with Janelle, Christine, or Mary. And this fuels massive discussion among fans who cannot understand why a simple moment of accountability needs approval from someone who is not even part of the original emotional conflict. But when digging deeper into the psychology behind the dynamic, it becomes clear that the situation is less about marital harmony and far more about control and insecurity, creating tension that stretches far beyond normal family boundaries, especially when considering how intertwined these relationships once were. After decades of blended family living, shared parenting, and cooperative structures that should have allowed for peaceful interactions long after separations, the idea that Cody must consult with Robin before speaking to the mothers of his children raises questions the fans cannot ignore. And online conversations explode with theories that blend concern, suspicion, and fascination into a massive ongoing discussion. And even though none of these speculations are officially confirmed, they add layers of suspense to every upcoming episode because fans wait to see whether the alleged restrictions might appear subtly between the lines of the edited footage. Some viewers claim to have heard from people connected to production, stating that Robin monitors Cody's interactions before, during, and after these staged apologies, creating a cycle where every moment must be explained, accounted for, and retold. And these whispers ignite debates regarding whether the televised apology is truly authentic or just another performance crafted under pressure as TLC continues to push harder to regain relevance. Fans continue to dissect every movement, every expression, and every conversation, searching for clues that reveal the real tension behind the cameras. And one particular rumor circulating online suggests that Robin set boundaries restricting which topics Cody is allowed to address without her being present, in that she allegedly reviews his phone afterward to ensure no private conversations take place with any of the former wives. And this sparks outrage, shock, and intrigue among viewers who wonder whether such control is protective, cautious, or simply rooted in deep-seated fear that history might repeat itself. And that fear feeds into every decision made behind closed doors. And the speculation takes an even sharper turn when a Reddit user claims that producers argued among themselves about whether Cody would even be permitted to hug his own daughters during the apology sessions because of how Robin might interpret the moment. And although fans cannot verify this rumor, it aligns with the increasingly chaotic dynamic the public has observed over the years. And by the time the first episode of the Apology Tour films, tensions are already simmering, and anticipation grows as viewers wait to see how the wives will respond when Cody finally faces them on camera for what TLC frames as emotional reconciliation. But beneath the dramatic lighting and polished editing lies a storm of unresolved issues that no single apology could ever fix. And as this tension builds, fans begin to notice something unsettling about the way Robin perceives the other wives. Because according to McKelty, Robin views these meetings through the lens of past romantic connections rather than acknowledging the complex years of parenting, partnership, and shared responsibility. And by reducing Janelle, Christine, and Mary to nothing more than former partners, Robin ignores the devastating impact his failure to be accountable for his actions had on the family as a whole. And even though Cody Brown is sometimes presented as a confused husband wandering through his own maze of decisions and missteps, the unspoken burden the psycho-engineered storyline really reveals is that Robin Brown, standing in the storm of this fluctuation, is being presented as the center of it all.
Completely overlooks the deep family ties they built over decades, and this adds an eerie tone to the storyline, as though the past is being twisted into a threat and transformed into something unstable and dangerous in the present, fueling suspicion and creating a shadow that hangs over every moment of the show. And as fans watch closely, they begin analyzing every tiny detail with increased intensity, examining how Cody behaves, whether he hesitates before speaking, how often he glances at the camera, or how frequently he refers to conversations with Robin to justify decisions he makes on screen. And all of these interactions add layers of suspense that make viewers lean forward, waiting for the next shift in tone or the next revelation that exposes how fragile the current family structure has become. And when considering years of history, fans already know that Cody has struggled to maintain communication with his older children. So the idea that someone might be influencing or limiting those interactions becomes a powerful storyline that captures attention across multiple platforms as viewers debate interpretations, motives, and emotional undertones. And while TLC markets this as healing and closure, observant fans sense something deeper and more complicated forming under the surface. And that complexity becomes the heartbeat of the unfolding drama. Because more than anything else, the Apology Tour highlights the fractured bonds between parents and children, revealing cracks that cannot be patched with scripted conversations or carefully framed apologies. And then the suspense intensifies when McKelty shares that she learned her father visited North Carolina without notifying her, even though she lived just hours away. And this revelation triggers emotional discussions among fans who see this as proof that the family divide runs deeper than public statements suggest, adding even more weight to the emotional turmoil depicted on screen. And her disappointment becomes a central point of conversation as viewers empathize with her experience, feeling overlooked and invisible in her father's life, creating a painful contrast to the network-manufactured image of a man attempting to reconnect with loved ones. And this contrast fuels even further discussion as fans question whether TLC is presenting the truth or simply producing a storyline that overshadows the real emotional distance that has developed over the years. And this mixture of engineered drama, genuine pain, lingering resentment, and unresolved conflict creates a perfect storm of intrigue, suspense, and emotional complexity that keeps viewers invested in every moment. Because although the show may be designed for entertainment, the experiences behind it remain real for the people involved. And that authenticity, combined with suspense, is what makes viewers stay until the end, as each episode promises yet another layer of revelation and emotional intensity that echoes long after the camera cuts to black. As the Apology Tour narrative continues building momentum, the emotional stakes rise higher and higher because every new interaction between Cody and his former wives reveals another piece of the fragile truth behind the perfectly edited scenes arranged by TLC.
And even though the network portrays these meetings as cathartic moments designed to heal old wounds, fans quickly notice that something much deeper and far more complicated is unfolding beneath the surface. And this complexity becomes the driving force behind the suspense, as viewers grow increasingly aware that the apology tour is not simply about closure, but about control, image management, and the lingering battle for emotional influence that stretches far beyond the camera's field of view. And the tension intensifies whenever Robin is mentioned, especially now that rumors have spread that she allegedly required Cody to check in with her before filming any of these conversations. And fans dissect this detail with careful attention because it profoundly shifts the viewer's understanding of the family dynamics, suggesting that the boundaries in Cody's current marriage may be structured less around mutual respect and more around fear, insecurity, and the need for reassurance. And according to online speculation, Robin does not simply request updates. She allegedly expects detailed retellings of every moment, every word, and every emotional expression that occurs during these filmed conversations, which creates an undercurrent of pressure that fans feel pulsing through every scene. And this speculation only grows stronger when a forum user claims that Robin may have suggested using a third party as a buffer to control communication between Cody and his former wives, framing it as a healthy boundary, but sparking immediate debate among fans who see the proposed setup as another layer of control disguised as emotional safety. And this theory of a controlled communication channel resonates with viewers who have followed the family for years, because they have witnessed the gradual shift in how decisions are made and how Cody's focus seems increasingly narrowed into a smaller, more isolated circle that leaves the rest of the family feeling disconnected, unheard, or pushed aside. And as the episodes unfold, observant viewers begin noticing subtle signs that align with these rumors, such as the way Cody references previous discussions with Robin before answering questions, the way he hesitates when topics turn toward emotional accountability, or the way he redirects conversations to defend his choices instead of acknowledging the pain experienced by others. And these patterns of behavior create a sense of rising suspense as fans wait to see whether any moment will break through the emotional wall that has built up over time, or whether the apology tour will end exactly where it began, with unresolved conflicts lingering in the background. And the suspense deepens when Mykelti shares more insight into her own emotional experience, describing how she felt marginalized and unimportant upon discovering that her father had traveled near her home without informing her. And this detail resonates with viewers because it highlights a painful contrast between the image of reconciliation presented on screen and the real emotional distance that remains in place behind closed doors, fueling discussions and theories that stretch across multiple platforms where fans attempt to piece together the full truth. And many viewers begin debating whether Cody's attempts at apology carry genuine remorse or if they represent a strategic effort to rehabilitate his public image and reduce the criticism he receives across social media, something Mykelti herself suggested during one of her conversations with supporters. And this theory aligns with statements Cody has made in the past, where he emphasized his unwillingness to apologize for things he did not believe he had done wrong, revealing a mindset focused more on personal validation than on
recognizing the hurt experienced by others. And as fans analyze these statements, they realize this viewpoint fundamentally shapes the emotional tone of the apology tour, where the emphasis appears to be placed more on how Cody wants to feel, rather than on how his children and former wives have felt for years, creating a disconnect that becomes unmistakable once seen. And that disconnect becomes the emotional engine, driving the growing suspense because viewers are left unsure whether reconciliation is truly possible when the underlying emotional work has not been done. And this uncertainty keeps audiences watching, episode after episode,
waiting for any moment where Cody might genuinely acknowledge the pain he has caused, or where one of his former wives might break through the careful editing and express the raw truth behind their experience. And the tension becomes even more pronounced when fans begin noticing patterns in the reactions of the adult children, who occasionally hint at their dissatisfaction through subtle social media signals, such as liked posts, comments about healing from unhealthy family environments, or vague messages about emotional independence. And these breadcrumbs of online behavior become important pieces of the larger puzzle fans attempt to solve as they try to understand which parts of the apology tour are grounded in reality and which parts may be structured to maintain the network's desired storyline. And the discussion then shifts toward the complex relationship between Cody and Robin, because while many viewers initially believed Robin influenced Cody's behavior, some now argue that their dynamic is not one of manipulation, but rather one of mutual reinforcement, where both individuals encourage similar tendencies within each other, forming a cycle that grows stronger with every shared decision. And this theory becomes especially compelling when contrasted with statements from people familiar with the family who suggest that Cody's controlling tendencies existed long before Robin entered the picture, indicating that she may not have created these patterns, but instead connected with them